Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
As far as the currency devaluations, I've been complaining about that for a long time. And I believe that we will all eventually, and probably very much sooner than a lot of people understand or think, we will be all at a level playing field. Because that's the only way it's fair. That's the only way that you can fairly compete in trade and other things. And we will be on that field, and we will all be working very hard to do great for our country.
Hi, I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. And the president just talked about a level playing field. And I'm going to beat you to death in the beginning of this video, maybe through this video, with the concept of a level playing field. And the reason you can see there, he says our dollar is too strong. And so even though this video now is about 6 years old, I'm going to show as well that this initiative never stopped. And so even though they present before the viewing public the appearance of opposition and different objectives, this objective of leveling the playing field is one that's collective. This objective is collective. I like that. Anyway, and the reason being is the dollar too strong, because but keep in mind I did a prior video that a dying dollar means a strong dinar, right? Because when the dollar goes down, that means you get more dollars for something else. Remember the bear claw and the donut holes? You know, in trade, you know, an example is this. If I have a strong dollar and I want to say shop in France, my dollar's strong compared to their money. So when I shop in France, I do better than the French people in buying their goods. From a national standpoint, that's imports. However, the French, if they want to come buy our goods, they have to use more of their money to do it. Therefore, they're less likely to want to do it. And that would affect our exports. And so you can see where it can be damaging to a nation. But the initiative to achieve a level playing field is just as much as the new global currency reset, quantum financial system, currency reevaluations, cryptocurrency elevations that we are all looking to happen. And that's the best thing you can do when you finally come to the paradigm where you can accept that as much as they want to make dualities, they are working at this together. And when they finally get to the point that the big boy steps on the stage, the big boy still being the United States of America, remember this. The president, whoever that happens to be, does have the power to buy and sell foreign currency, called foreign exchange intervention, to change the dollar's value, and can even call on the Fed to use its own resources in that effort. Such intervention is particularly powerful when used in concert with other nations. That is why presidential rhetoric can temporarily influence the dollar's value. So if the dollar is too strong, that means it needs to be weak to level the playing field from the U.S.'s point of view, correct? But from Iraq's point of view, to level the playing field, their dinar has to get stronger. But since the dollar has been the measuring tool of most financial operations on the globe, if the dollar goes down, the other ones go up. And that's going to happen no matter what, as the prior videos have shown with the BRICS nations and things of that nature, which is taking away the hegemony of the dollar. It's going to happen, folks. There's nothing we can do about it except prepare for it. But to illustrate how this is a dual-sided operation, it's a common initiative and it's a common objective. It doesn't matter which side of the proverbial aisle people purport to be to the viewing public. So if I have Trump, who many viewed as far-right conservative, then how far left can you go? Can you go so far left you end up with Biden? I don't think so. I think there's somebody who's further left than Biden because the person I'm going to show you funds Biden and that side of the aisle. His name is George Soros. And you'll see that George pours cash in the Arkansas race to level a playing field for cash poor. Okay? What we're doing really is leveling the playing field. Now, of course, this is referring to a local election in one state. But let's not forget the impact the United States has as a whole. And this is only to highlight the use of the term the playing field, but also to show that George Soros is undoubtedly funding left-wing. George Soros is funding left-wing candidates. So both sides are singing the same song. Okay, you need a little backup. How about his friend? How about his friend? He has a friend, and that friend is a man who supposedly, I'll show you his face. Well, there it is. It says right there his name. So I can't do that. I'll show you his face anyway, maybe. But you'll see what he says here. Humanity's greatest advances are ones that do what? Level the playing field. Mr. Bill Gates, okay, and many have their views on him. But my purpose is to show that this is a collective effort, folks, and it's going to happen. Just like Trump said, sooner than many think. Towards a level playing field. How about the World Bank? Towards a level playing field, okay? So the World Bank is expressing the need to provide a level playing field that avoids market distortions, increases competitiveness, improves the investment climate. Okay? So it's most certainly happening. So let's look at a couple more clips that show it continued before and after President Trump.
Trade is key to support competitiveness and growth in Europe. In this context, business expects European initiatives that ensure a level playing field together with actions that increase export opportunities. In the last years, the EU has been focusing on level playing field initiatives like the International Procurement Instrument or more recently the Instrument on Foreign Subsidies. We welcome these instruments, but they must go hand in hand with the EU's bilateral negotiating agenda. We need trade agreements for several reasons. Let me name three.
Now, staying on the Inflation Reduction Act, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says that the bloc will adopt a new aid package to support European businesses in order to counter the Inflation Reduction Act in the U.S. Von der Leyen on Sunday said in a speech that competition is good, but this competition must respect a level playing field.
Remember, the Inflation Reduction Act is an act of 2022, so that's very recent. They're still talking about a level playing field. And just to say, notice I said it in one of my prior videos a few months back. IRA, Inflation Reduction Act. They're going to come after those folks. They're coming after everything because the greatest transfer of wealth is going to happen. It's happening. Of course, there'll be requirements for you to survive and get there. But the incumbents don't like the fact that the Iraqi dinar, XRP, private investing, and precious metals, and the things that we're not supposed to be involved in are going to transition to wealth. And so as a consequence, they're trying to jack up the taxes and everything else because they anticipate that there will be wealthy people, more wealthier people than what they're used to, with the leveling of the playing field. But here is to show that yes, it does touch Iraq, because here's IMF recommendations on Iraq. Now, of course, this is about the level playing field and my thoughts on that. I'll talk about that. But as we look at this end of mission press releases, 2020, again, not too long ago after the fallout of COVID, what we're really looking for is the terminology that this video is all about. And I'm sorry I had it highlighted and I have to find it again. I'm so sorry, that sucks. I don't remember where I saw it. IMF recommendations on Iraq. Okay, now I gotta do my speed read like I used to do when I worked for disability, looking at tons and tons of voluminous medical records. I had to be able to scan and read and basically speed read to be able to find the words that I needed, the information that I needed, such as a decisive strategy to reform the large state-owned banks and level the playing field in the financial sector, will enable private sector development and secure financial stability. In addition to strengthening control over these banks' governance and enhanced supervision, it will be important to perform an international audit of large state-owned banks to inform options for their restructuring. And so remember the words I mentioned about the increase of the wealthy because of the fact that many are holding on to the Iraqi dinar and other foreign currencies and other items, and cryptos and precious metals, seeking, what's the word I'm looking for? Increase in valuation, I'll just say, of their assets and their portfolios. And I also mentioned, well, they're getting ready for it. Notice this video clip.
Of the ultra millionaires tax. Give me a sense from your point of view, what is the main thing you want to accomplish with this proposed wealth tax?
The main thing is we want to level the playing field because, as you know, we had a tax structure that really has not taxed wealth very much at all.
And that's right, it didn't tax wealth very much at all when there was the elite versus the masses. But now with the fear of the masses coming on board, they gotta tax the wealthy because it might not be the same bloodlines, I'll just say, without getting into too much conspiracy theory. But we know that it affects the dinar. But see, this shows that it's Ripple, it's other things. I'm not just blowing smoke out my tail, y'all. Because you know who Rosie Rios is. She's what used to be the treasurer of the United States, and she's on the board of Ripple, and she's touting the benefits of the level playing field. And she used to be with the president before, Barack Obama. So that's also a Democratic president. So this is not isolated. And she's just as much into it as well, folks. And so Brad Garlinghouse with XRP, he says we're asking for a level playing field. Now, he's talking about the competition in his industry, but don't be for 1 minute not knowing that this use of terminology, this implantation of words and ideas, is not only communication with the elite, it's communication to soften the minds of the masses to accept what's coming. And so if we know what's coming, folks, the best thing we can do is get on the good side of it so that we benefit, and that's what we try to do here. So can you continue to rest that this pursuit of a level playing field is going to be good for the Iraqi dinar? Of course it is. Of course it is. The dollar is strong and the dinar is weak. To level it off, the dinar has to come up and the dollar has to go down. Can you expect that with XRP? Absolutely. With XRP, because XRP is the backbone of the new financial system in their XRP ledger. And of course, with precious metals, it's the same concept of if the dollar is worth less, worthless almost, it is now, but if it's worth less, that it's going to take more dollars to buy gold, it's going to take more dollars to buy everything. And so if you're trading for dollars with other assets, you stand to benefit. So don't think for 1 minute this is going away, folks. Just hang in there because it's coming. And maybe you want to take a look at my Riches to Rags is a Drag video to make sure if it does come your way that you are thinking straight and not getting too looped up and losing all your money. Sorry if you can hear the dogs wrestling. And so we'll tap this out with one last video to make the point. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will. Talk about it. I talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
And explore, yes, a U.S. central bank digital currency. I joined the board of Ripple because XRP serves a purpose. It's a function that facilitates cross-border payments. This is actually what legitimate financial institutions use, specifically for cross-border payments. So instead of days and dollars, it's seconds and cents. And blockchain is not going away anytime soon. In my opinion, it absolutely is the future of commerce. whether it is real estate, whether it is art, whether it is NFTs, it is absolutely here to stay.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.